In these 4 characters, do you find anything in common? It is this component, pronounced bei. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving into a very special Chinese radical, bei. Today it means shell in general, and a long time ago, it was meant for cowrie shells, and the script back then was like a sketch of the physical object. As time went by, it transformed so much that you hardly recognize it anymore. The version we use today in China mainland, where I come from, is only written in 4 strokes for convenience. And cowrie shells, for a certain period of Chinese history, was used as money for trading goods at the market. Hence, trading and goods are both with this little component. It was also a preferred material for making jewelries. Therefore, bei also appears in characters that represent something that are precious, important, and extended from that, qualities and values that we appreciate or the moral standards that we look up to. Let's check them out. Let's start with gui. Gui. You might have already known one of its meanings, expensive, when we talk about the price. 这个苹果贵吗？贵不贵？不贵，有点贵，很贵，太贵了。I heard these all the time when I was little as we go to free markets or grocery stores. 贵 could also mean noble, precious, important. For example, 贵族, that means noble houses, aristocratic families like the ones in Downton Abbey. 贵族. We could use 贵 to ask about people's last names. 您贵姓? What's your last name? In a very, very polite way. 您贵姓? And accordingly, I will answer like 免贵姓吴. My last name is Wu, but I answered in a very humble way, saying, no, it's not noble at all. I'm just a commoner. 免贵姓吴. Can you try to tell yours in this way? Great. Another word, 贵人, a very important person in your life. Could be someone that brings you good luck, someone that inspired you, give you guidance, or someone reach out their hands for you, pull you out of difficult situations. 贵人. However, I would never say, 妈妈是我的贵人, even though my mom was the reason I came to this world, and she gave me unconditional love and support. Family members don't count as 贵人. It's someone you know from outside. There's a fascinating Chinese philosophy about politics. 民为贵, meaning the people are precious, from Mencius. Who's this guy? Now you might have heard Confucius, the great educator and philosophy of ancient China. Mencius came 100 years later, who developed the works of Confucius and brought it further. He traveled around. China at that time was split into hundreds of little kingdoms. He had inspiring conversations with the kings at that time. He suggested that a good ruler should put his people above everything else.
Great!
民为贵. This idea was more than 2,000 years old. Amazing, right? The next 2 characters, 赞, 赏, they have a lot of things in common. They both mean to appreciate, to recognize the value of a person, or to admire the work that they have done, to give very positive feedbacks. The difference is, 赞is more like a verbal expression, like you've done a great job, or wow, this is the best piece of work I've ever seen. 赏, on the other side, is related to reward. If you look at the upper part of the character, you might imagine it as 3 coins thrown into a donation box. I'd like to introduce 2 words that you will see a lot on the social media as of today in China. 点赞, 打赏. 点赞, that means to like, to click your mouse and press the button. I like what you did. I appreciate your work. 打赏 means to tip your favorite blogger, live streamer, influencer. Give them some money, doesn't matter how much, just to show your support. I'd be very happy if you show your approval in any of these ways, or both. 谢谢你给我点赞。谢谢你给我打赏。The next character isn't so positive. 贪 which means always ask for more, can't get enough of it, never satisfied about what you already have. Greedy. 贪. There's a little hint for you to memorize this character. The one stays above is 今 means today. So imagine being greedy could also mean I want a lot of things and I want them right now. A few interesting words. 贪玩, literally greedy for fun. We could say that about a child because it's in their nature that they want to play, having fun, explore a little bit the world around them. 我儿子很贪玩. My son likes to play, sometimes a little bit too much. 我儿子很贪玩. Another one, 贪杯, greedy for alcohol. Always want another drink, another drink, another drink. 杯 means containers of all these kinds to fill up drinks. Water, juice, wine, beer, you name it. However, 杯 in this word, 贪杯, is only associated with alcohol. 贪杯. A third word, 贪财, greedy for wealth. 财 includes cash, land, houses, cars, precious materials, and all the treasures in the world.
Oh my God.
财, you will see this is also with the 杯 radical in it. The right side of the character is also pronounced 才, but it means talent, ability. So imagine if a person uses all what he can and knows into the field of financial, over time it will bring him a lot of wealth. Makes sense, right?
Oh yes.
财 could also form a lot of words. 财产, the assets, properties. 财务, finance. In my family, as I grew up, my mom was always in charge of all the financial matters. 妈妈管财务. 财务, not just wealth. 财 is constructed with this radical 杯. Quite on the contrary, the character 贫, which means poor, has also this radical at its bottom. 贫. The other part is 分, which means to split it up, to hand it out, to give it away. Makes sense, right? If you give up all your treasures to the others, what is left to you is very limited. 平民, poor people. 贫民. We could also say the blood is poor. 贫血, a mania, not enough red blood cells to transport the oxygen all of the body. Hence you might feel dizzy, tired, or breathe quicker. 贫血, 贫嘴, poor mouth? No, actually means somebody who cannot stop talking nonsense. 贫嘴. The next character, 货, meaning goods, products for sale. 货, 百货店, department stores, literally a store with hundreds of goods. 百货店. 货车, trucks, vehicles that loads and unloads goods. 货车. If you hear people say 蠢货, you'd be careful because that's not a good word. Idiot, 蠢, stupid. 蠢货. Another one, 贼, thief. 贼, they look for something precious too, right? There's a phrase called 贼眉鼠眼. It's to describe that someone has shifty eyes, sneaky looks. 眉眼, 贼眉鼠眼. Doesn't look like a good guy. Not very decent. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce this character. 赢. Looks very complicated, right? 赢. Originally, it means just to gain profit. Later on, it meant to win a game on the battlefield, in the business world, or win somebody's heart. Ying has always been a lovely word. Who doesn't want to win? It became suddenly popular as this book was introduced into China. Winning from Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electronics. And the Chinese translation? Ying, the big character on the cover of the book. So all of a sudden, people staring at this character try to find the recipe for any kinds of success, to seek ancient wisdoms about what you need, what it takes in order to reach the goal. This character, if we break it down, there are 5 individuals. There are many interpretations behind it. Let's start with Bei, which you are already familiar in today's video. Therefore, Bei could stand for the resource, either it's financial or people related. What about the other 4? The one at the very top is called Wang, means to die, to wither, to fade away. Wang, what could be the hint? The awareness of crisis and risks. Always stay alert, even if the situation is seemingly looking good for you. The one in the middle, Kou. Kou. You need some communication skills, right? You need to convince people about your ideas. You need to motivate people and keep your team in a good shape. Kou. The little one here, Yue. The moon, the months, which stands for time. You could say, do the right thing at the right times. But it's also important that you need to give yourself a little time. Patience. Let the time play its role. Let time reward you. Let time be your friend. The last one on this corner, Fan, ordinary. Fan, you can learn a lot of things on any ordinary tasks. And you can be extraordinary by just doing ordinary things. And all these 5 little elements in this character, Ying, could be a true recipe for your success, no matter what you do. I'd be very interested to hear from you about your interpretation from your personal experience. Write them in the comment, and if you happen to know any other characters with this radical, write them too. See you next time. 谢谢，再见。